Hi, I'm Everett Abrams, and today I want to talk to you about figuring out your cost of your deck and these deck cost calculators that are online. And the reason I'm bringing them up is because not just me, but people I speak to as I'm teaching classes and everything else I do in the industry, people are complaining that they're going out to do a job and the customers, and we see it because it happens to us too, and I'll get specific, but they go out and they're like, they want to get an estimate on how to build a deck or how much it's going to cost to build their deck. Well, today everybody, they're already online. They've checked out, different companies, what product they want to use, and they're using these deck cost calculators to figure out the costs of how much it's going to, or a rough idea, how much it's going to cost to build a deck based off of, whatever dimensions they're going to use and so forth. So they get their notion and what they want before they call, and then they call the companies to come out and give us an estimate. And we get people that are shell-shocked. I mean, the sticker shock is crazy when we give them a price. And we see some of it where they're getting like maybe a 20 by 16 deck, and they get this price of $12,000. Well, I'm just telling you, most of the time, that should, for people that are build decks, that's like, what? That's too low with today's market, with pricing, labor, and everything else. But yet these are the differences. And that same deck could anywhere, depending on what you're going to do, bells, whistles, and features, and so forth. That deck that they got for 12 might come to 18 to 24 in reality, depending on what they're going with. And that's where I lead to this video while I'm talking about this, not just for our company, DRP Enterprise and Deck Restoration, but for the industry as well. The manufacturers and the people with these deck cost calculators got to get it together. I mean, how can you put something out that you're not updating on a daily or weekly basis for pricing and that kind of stuff? That's what we do as a company, number one. Number two, any of the distributors who are selling your products, when you go there, they don't guarantee pricing, as a matter of fact, in most cases, because they don't know what they're getting, the supply chains, pricing it, it doesn't work. Plus the fact, it's hard to say with all the features that come on a deck. And we know this when we go on these websites and we look at these manufacturers, whether it's Trex, TimberTech, Fiberon, Decorator, whoever it is. I'm just throwing a few names out there. When you go on there, you see these beautiful decks and you start getting this idea, okay, I want my deck to look like this. It's beautiful. But then you go and figure out your 16 by 20 deck, and he spits out a number of 12,000. That picture that's on there is not a $12,000 deck. It's probably a 50, 60, whatever thousand, $100,000 deck. Just within each company, and I mentioned a few, but there's a whole bunch. There's different manufacturer lines that are going to be different pricing from low end to high end. Some of them have, 4 different manufacturer lines, and the price is different on each one. So that's one thing. Then there's things like a drink rail versus a regular, just plain white vinyl railing, say. Are you going to put black balusters in, different features like that? If you're looking at some of these pictures and you see these beautiful inlays or picture framing, where you have a soldier board and a frame that's bordered out, sometimes it's a single or a double and it just offsets it. There's amazing things you can do. All that means that not just is there more to that, but also there's more of a cost in the framing of that and how you set that up in the beginning, before you start laying your planks and stuff down. So that takes into account. It's not anything on these deck cost calculators. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of people when you go out there, they're like, yes, I want a drink rail. Yes, I want lighting. Yes, I want picture framing. And all these things are more labor intensive. There's more cost to it. It just adds a little bit to it. But you really should, if you're going to build a deck, make it what you want, because you're going to get a guarantee of 25 to 50 years. By the way, another problem with the industry, just throwing it out there once again, you got 50-year guarantees, warranties, whatever on these products. But I can tell you the framing that's going up today, not going to last 50 years. So between code and everything else, we got to get it together in this industry. But that's another video for another time. Let's get back to these features and these deck cost calculators. How do you put something in and it spits out 12? You look at these beautiful pictures, you go out and talk to the customer and they're like, what are you talking about? It came out to 12. I thought this isn't working. It's not working. These deck cost calculators do not work. Okay, so if you're watching this video and you're going to call us, I'm going to tell you, ignore all that stuff. It's a good idea to get some pictures, get some ideas what you want to do, what product lines you want to go with, and so forth. But don't take into account that there's any validity to any of those deck cost calculators, because there's way too many variables today, and we keep adding variables. And I mentioned a few with the drink rail, the picture framing, lighting, inlays, just so many privacy areas. Then we even talk about skirting, lattice, and the different material used for there. There's just so much to take into account. This isn't just composite too. It's also with wood, depending on what type of wood are you going to use. And then one of the big things now is this thermally modified wood that a lot of people have starting to talk about and ask us about. That's a little more costly. So when you're putting this in, this deck cost calculator doesn't keep up with some of the stuff that's going on in the industry. So anyway, to wrap this up, Everett Abrams from DRP Enterprises and Deck Restoration Plus. A lot of people know me as the Wizard of Wood. I'm just making this video to say, hey, don't put any validity to these deck cost calculators. Put validity into getting the ideas you want, calling those contractors that are reputable in your area, that people refer, people you feel comfortable with when you do your background and your Google searches and so forth, or internet searches, not necessarily Google. You get them, and then you talk to them and get the estimate. Because I'm going to tell you what's happening. Somebody will go and they'll get these deck cost calculators, even on the manufacturer's websites. They come up with this price they have in their head. Then they go out and they get 3 estimates, and the 3 people say, oh, well, it's double that, or it's, it's whatever it is. It's more than that. They say, oh, well, it shouldn't be. This isn't right. Let me go get 3 more. Well, each time you go and get 3, now you've got 6, you're just getting different opinions all over. You get confused. Do I even want that product? Should I go to another product? What product is this one pushing? Why are they saying to do this and then not do that? Use this product, not that product. And the whole thing gets convoluted. Basically, what I'm telling you, deck cost calculators, they're worthless today. They really are. A good company is going to keep updated pricing. They're going to have their pricing when they figure out the cost and what it's going to take to build that deck based off of either plans that you provide or that are created after the meeting and so forth. So you're going to come up with a plan. You're going to come up with a materials list. You come up with an updated pricing list, and that's really what you go by, not something on a computer that's not updated enough in today's world, plus with all the features. So I've said enough. I don't want to get that any more long-winded than I've already been. I hope you enjoy this video, and hopefully if you're watching this, whether you're using my company or anybody else's company, don't put a whole lot of faith in those deck cost calculators. It's not worth it.